Welcome to Friends in Fiction, 5 best-selling authors, endless stories. Novelists Mary Kay Andrews, Kristen Harmel, Christy Woodson Harvey, Patty Callahan Henry, and Mary Alice Monroe are 5 longtime friends with more than 80 published books to their credit. In 2020, they created Friends in Fiction to provide author interviews and fascinating insider talk about publishing and writing, and to highlight independent bookstores. These friends discuss the books they've written, the books they're reading now, and the art of storytelling. If you love books and you're curious about the writing world, you're in the right place.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this super special edition of Friends and Fiction. Tonight, we are celebrating the launch of our own Mary Alice Monroe's novel, The Summer of Lost and Found. Yay! I'm Patty Callahan, and I loved, as you'll probably guess, the true ambiance of the Low Country that Mary Alice does so well.
I'm Mary Kay Andrews, and I love the way Mary Alice unwinds the complicated threads of family dynamics.
I'm Kristen Harmel, and I loved the way she used the pandemic not as an issue, but as a setting, a reason for being together, which I think is something we can really all identify with.
I'm Christy Woodson Harvey, and I loved how we get to see a new generation of the Rutledge family in this novel. And there's a really great love triangle, and who doesn't love a love triangle?
I love one. I do.
I love these girls. I love every single one of them, and I'm so grateful to them and to you on this special day.
So we love our launches, and there's always a surprise, and there are tonight, because on launch night, we love to mix it up a little bit.
Who, us? I don't know about that. Of course, when you think of Mary Alice and the Beach House series, you think of turtles. And tonight, for a twist, we're going to meet the 7 books in the Beach House series, and there might even be a little turtley surprise along with it.
Turtley.
Turtley surprise.
Listen, I'm a writer. It's a word.
Artistic license. But before you pick up your mint julep or tequila sunrise, we have both a celebration and a secret revelation. You know that we would not be here if Mary Kay hadn't said, hey, let's all get together on Zoom. And now our Mary Kay Andrews, the newcomer, has hit the New York Times list. And we want to lift our glass.
Yes.
So much work goes into this moment, and we never want to let it pass without huge congratulations. She's on the hardcover list and the combined print and ebook. It is a huge day.
That's awesome. Did we lose her? Mary Kay, come back. Come back to us.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Because not only with the New York Times, but tonight we have the revelation of a huge secret. Mary Kay, what have you been keeping under your hat?
Literally, apparently.
I don't remember what I've been keeping. No, what I've been keeping under my hat. During the pandemic, I wrote a Christmas novella. It's called The Santa Suit. There it is. Thank you, Sean. Isn't that an adorable cover?
It's adorable.
It's called The Santa Suit, and it's about a young woman who buys a farmhouse in the North Carolina mountains and finds a mystical Santa suit that has the potential to change her life. And it will be out September 28th, and I can't wait to take this hat off.
Okay.
Pre-order now. Buy my book now.
Pre-order now.
And we already celebrated my book hitting the list. Yay!
Mary Kay, I actually feel like that shot of you should be the cover of the Santa suit.
I think so too.
That happen?
That should be your author photo.
My daughter ordered that hat for me, not thinking that it was knitted of yarn, and I would be
In sunny
Florida.
Florida. Oh my God. So
where
hot.
it's swamp ass hot.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are so happy that you shared that with us. And we're so thrilled with you about the newcomer hitting the list.
Thank you.
And it's
Thank
been
you
hard
so much.
Oh, we're so happy. And it's been so hard for us to keep the Santa suit a secret because we knew it was happening. And I think we've almost let the cat out of the bag so many times.
A couple times.
Well, I want to thank all of my readers out there for buying the book, damn it, pre-ordering, and of course my Friends in Fiction sisters for helping it take off. But tonight it's not about me, it's about Mary Alice. So let's get this show on the road.
Before we get into tonight's show, we want to remind you about our wonderful partner, Mama Geraldine's, who make the world's best cheese straws and, of course, melt-in-your-mouth cookies. They've been so supportive of us, which just means the world. And remember, as always, you can use the code FAB5 for 20% off your purchase at mamageraldines.com. So get some of their treats and let us know what you think. And as they say, I don't know why you always make the non-Southern girls say this, but snack on, y'all.
Snack on, y'all.
And don't forget that while you're eating your Mama Geraldine's, you can sip out of your Friends in Fiction non-plastic straws that Mary Alice is offering with the Summer of Lost and Found. There's a really nice silicone tip and a cute carrying case with the Friends in Fiction logo on it. We don't use plastic straws in Beaufort, and we hope you don't either. So this will come in handy. And so this week, Politics and Prose, our bookseller of the week, is offering 10% off of the Summer of Lost and Found and all of our upcoming releases. And anyone who buys the Summer of Lost and Found from Politics and Prose between now and Saturday will get one of these adorable metal straw kits because, you get thirsty at the beach.
Oh, I'm so cute. These really are cute. And anyone who orders, like she said, I will send it off.
So cute.
Okay, are y'all ready to get started?
Woo!
Time.
Turtle time.
Oh.
Turtle time. So we have had some great book launches that have included plays, and obviously beards are now our new thing.
Yeah.
And bad accents and surprise guests and crazy sound effects. I heard somebody snorted on one of the launches.
Oh, you should have heard it.
It was bad. It was really bad. But tonight is Mary Alice's night, and that means there are turtles. So
Turtles. Now the summer.
Oh, keep going. This will take a while.
Okay, keep going, Kathy. Mary Kay.
The Summer of Lost and Found is the 7th book of the best-selling Beach House series. Linnea and the Rutledge family return, this time dealing with love, friendship, and family while they shelter in place at Isle of Palms. If you've read the series, I know you're waiting to welcome your old friends and find out what they're up to.
But if you haven't read the series, don't worry. As CNN said when they included the book on their list of most anticipated reads for May, this beach read stands on its own and serves as a perfect kickoff to summer.
As you hear from all 7 of the novels, you can put into the comments which book in the series is your favorite and why. And we're going to try to read some of the comments during the show. And clearly, I'm going to teach Mary Alice how to properly pop a bottle of champagne because she's doing a poor job.
So, Mary Alice, this is your 27th novel.
Wow.
You have written over a dozen standalone, and yet you keep coming back to the Beach House. Yeah. 20 years ago it started. It is so hard to believe that it has been 20 years.
I know, and the time has gone by so quickly. And yet sometimes it just feels like yesterday, and when I begin a new book in the series, I have to go back and read them all over again just to remember. But it is a celebration, and I'm trying to pop the bubbly because it's lunchtime. And we will pop that bubbly eventually, but I just really want to say a toast to all of you.
Did you do it? Did it happen?
No, we're getting my husband next. We're going to get this.
Okay.
Just to get a
crane. Guys, hold the cork, but twist the bottle, not the cork. He says that's the secret.
And twist the bottle.
That's what he says. I don't know.
Oh, I think
You're
it's
twisting
welded.
the cork. That's hilarious.
And we'll get to it, but I will say the main point is. I want to toast to each of you thank you so much. This is,
Cheers.
you know, your support is so felt. And when I drink, I will drink a whole glass to each of you. Thank you. Now, you know, at the
Where's
beginning of all this,
Marcus?
he's, God only knows. 20 years ago, when I started this series, I didn't write a series. I only meant to write one book,
But it became a series.
but it became a series.
And your first New York Times hit. That's such a special moment.
It was, but you know, congrats again to Kathy, Mary Kay Andrews,
Yeah.
and Kristen. Oh, man.
Happiest
Okay.
sound in the world.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite sound. And that's a toast to Mary Kay Andrews and Christy Whitson Harvey also for making the New
thank
York
you.
Times
Thank
list.
you.
And to all the readers, because back in the day, there wasn't an internet then.
Woo!
Oh,
Wait.
Oh, there's another one.
I was
It's
gonna
contagious.
What's that?
It's contagious.
We just happen to have a
Oh.
we just happen to have a bottle. Blah, 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 blah,
Okay,
blah,
this
blah,
is the
blah,
way
blah,
we
blah.
roll, everybody.
And that
we
is
like
the-
to drink our champagne.
Yes.
I forgot my sippy cup.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but
Right.
okay, let's get back on. Okay, 20 years ago, there wasn't an internet, and I have to thank the readers because it was old school. It was all word of mouth, and it was a little tiny mass market. It wasn't the fancy hardcover that we have now. So I've been really excited by this, and every year, like wildfire, it just keeps growing.
Mary Alice, it came out first in mass market. That's how it started 20 years ago. I had no idea. That's so interesting. Wow.
This Little Baby is the book that started it all.
That's so
love it.
cool. I
This
had
is
no
the-
idea.
This is the book, and I knew I wrote something that I had never written before.
Wow.
And you know what was really great about the New York Times? It wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
But when it hit, it greenlit my ability to continue writing books that were set against wildlife species. It was something I wanted to do, but you all know that you don't know if it's not a success, you can't continue.
Right.
And it did.
But it was, and each of the 7 books have hit the Times list, and you've created legions of fans. So let's get this party started.
Okay.
Not that we haven't started, but let's get started with our first guest. Mary Alice has invited a special guest to be her first book in the Beach House series. Her first child, her daughter, Claire. Claire lives outside Chicago with her husband and 3 children. She's an advertising executive, but also has a decorating business. She is fabulously talented in decorating. And when you see pictures of Mary Alice's house in the summer issue of Charleston Home and Design, you'll see Delancey Walker's talents. We see the creative came through in Claire's daughter. So welcome, Claire.
Hey, Claire. Hi, baby.
Hi, Claire.
My number one daughter.
I'm so excited to be here on Mom's special launch day, no less. How you guys doing?
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. I've seen how much fun you guys have had. I want to be part of all of it, the straws, the cheese straws. But tonight, the first book in the Beach House series, The Beach House.
Woo.
So we'll show you a cover, I think, of the original cover. If I were a song, I'd be Blake Shelton's I Want to Go Home. I'm a story about going home again. I might be the oldest of the books, 20 years and counting, but I'll have you know I'm alive and kicking. I've never gone out of print, not once. I like to say I've been freshened up with a few multiple years all over the world. In fact, mark your calendars, it's June 15th. I'm coming back out in print with a new fancy cover. What do y'all think?
Beautiful.
That's- Okay, one more, Sean. Come on.
There we go. Oh, I love it.
Yay, beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Love
It's
it.
a nice reboot. So I'll give you a little story about the story. My pages tell the story of a gracious Southern lady from a historic Charleston family, Olivia Lovey Rutledge. She lives in a grand house south of Broad, but her sanctuary is a little beach cottage on Isle of Palms where she escapes an abusive husband. It's also where she goes to tend her turtle nests. As the story opens, Lovey knows this will be her last summer, and so she invites her daughter to the beach house in hopes of a reconciliation. Her daughter, Kara, spends one special, amazing, sparkling summer with her mom, and she meets the love of her life at 40 years old. She learns her mom is not the meek, subservient woman she thought she was, but so much more.
Oh, it gave me chills hearing that again. I can see how that book launched a series.
That book will always have a really special place in my heart. It was the first, just as my daughter Claire is my first. So love you, Claire. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for being here.
I love you, Claire Bear.
Well, there are 6 more books to come, and our next guest is one of those books.
We can't hear you.
I can't hear you too well.
But
tonight is swimming lessons. I'm in the second book in the series.
And Sean's going to show the graphic of the book Swimming Lessons. Maybe. While you're talking. How about that?
There we go. In my pages, I continue the story of the Rutledge family 5 years later. Old Miss Lovey has passed away, but her legacy lives on with her daughter Kara and Toy Sooner, the young woman that Lovey helped in the original beach house. Toy is a single mother now and an aquarist at the aquarium. She's resilient, like the sea turtles that she rescues and rehabilitates. If I were a song, I'd be Pink, singing "Just Give Me a Reason to Learn to Love Again." So we all know Mary Alice deals with loves turtles and sea turtles, and we worked together for like 20 years.
Wow.
So we've got a few pictures that we've taken over the years that
I'm going to show some pictures.
There's Mary Alice in the front.
This is the original book.
I love that one.
He's learning with some lovely little babies. Now he's going to give me a lot of time. Okay.
This is funny.
This turtle's name is Nokia, and he had this habit. Anytime anyone would pick him up, he'd poop. So I'm telling her, running down her leg and into a sandwich. Look at the smile.
That's why I'm laughing. The darn turtle's pooping all over me. That's at a release. This is that's me.
That's Mary Alice being the activist that she is. Sure. Whoops.
Oh, and there's
yay!
Aw.
Patty will tell you about this.
Patty, tell the story. Yeah.
But let me just start. I was officiously telling Patty all about how turtles, how they hatch and all the things that they do, and we're sitting there very serious.
And what happened, Patty?
So, the best part is, before I met them, I actually had a sea turtle nest in one of my books. It was like 2 sentences. And I described the eggs wrong, and Barb has never forgiven me. So there's that. And so when it was in the moonlight. Trust me, I know. And so we went that night. There was supposed to be a turtle boil, it's called, when all the turtles come out. And they were all talking, and I was like, I want to see it. I want to see it. And I was like, they said, we'll tell you when it's happening. I'm like, but what are those? And they were like, oh, those are the turtles.
We're talking, and Patty goes, "What are the turtle nest erupted?" And no one noticed, but Patty.
Nobody noticed, but the girl who didn't know what the turtles were.
That's right. So it all came together.
Barb, it's so good seeing you.
I love it.
Too. It's been a while. Bye-bye.
Thanks
So
for
now,
coming.
Barb, it is now time to meet the 3rd book in the series. And Mary Alice always says it's the best love story she ever wrote.
I'm Beach House Memories, and if I were a song, I'd be Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, one of my favorites. You'll need your tissues for this one, because this is the heartbreakingly beautiful love story of Lovey Rutledge and Russell Bennett, where we learn a little bit about in the Beach House. I'm different than all the other books because I'm a prequel to the Beach House. In my pages, we go back to 1974, and though America is changing, Charleston is eternally the same. This fateful summer, our Lovey falls in love for the very first time with a married man. Now, you might say, what's the problem? Well, the problem is it's 1974. For a woman in Charleston's elite, especially south of Broad, divorce is an unforgivable scandal. If Lovey dares to dream beyond a summer affair, tisk tisk, she could lose everything, her reputation, her wealth, and even her precious children.
Well, wait, you're stopping? Don't stop now. You have to tell us what happens.
Well, I wish I could, but it's time to meet the fourth book.
Oh, hello, everybody. I am Beach House for Rent. I don't mind telling you to buckle your seatbelts, darlings, because this book is a roller coaster ride for your emotions. Time has passed. Kara is turning 50, as sometimes happens to the best of us. She wants to adopt, but Brett won't have any of it. Let's just say, if I were a song, I'd be Al Green singing, "Let's Stay Together." A lot happens to Kara in this book that sends her reeling. And if you're wondering what will happen next, well, my lips are sealed. It's a surprise, and that's all I can tell you.
Mary Alice, we have a couple comments from viewers about their favorite books in the series, but actually I have a quick question. And it just occurred to me, I know I've seen a lot of people ask this on Friends and Fiction. If we're reading your series in order, where do we read Beach House Memories? I know it's a prequel to the
Thank you.
series.
Boy, am I so glad you asked that question. The first book, is the anchor that you should read that. But every book after that really is a standalone.
Okay.
And I say that because my other series, you should read A, B, C, D. It's designed that way. But this book is designed so that if you just read, for example, The Summer of Lost and Found, which is the last, I created it that it's a standalone novel. Beginning, middle, and end, all the histories are there that you need to know. But if you like it, you go back. Now, a lot of my fans used to say, well, how come this book, your book, Kristen, wasn't number 2? It's because I wrote it third.
Right, okay.
But it actually is a prequel because really, so I loved that story of Lovey and Russell. And it was my daughter Greta, who you're going to meet later. She finally, 10 years after the book came out, said, "Mama, well, what? I don't understand why she just didn't leave that husband. He was so awful." And that's when I knew, little girl, no, you don't understand what it was like to be South abroad in 1974. So I really wrote that for the next generation.
Oh, that's awesome. So if someone were to start your series, though, from scratch, hadn't read any of them, or reads The Summer of Lost and Found and loves it and wants to go back to the beginning, would you start with Beach House? Or would you start with Beach House Memories?
If you read Summer Lost and Found, which is the next generation, and you're like it, you say, I want to learn about this family, go back to the Beach House. Start with number 1.
Start and read them in the order you wrote them.
I think so, because there is a continuity of age.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. All right. So as I said, viewers have a few comments. So Mary Peyton Courtwright says, my favorites are Beach House and On Ocean Boulevard, but I love all the books about the wonderful Rutledge family. I cannot wait until The Summer of Lost and Found arrives.
Michelle Marcus.
Here.
Yeah, here we go. Michelle Marcus says that all of the books are her favorites.
There you go.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn. Hello, everyone. I know you think I am PCH, but I am actually BHR, Beach House Reunion. I mean, really, Mary Alice couldn't leave us dangling for a couple of years after Beach House for Rent. Her fans were writing her letters, and I'm proud to tell you, Kara might have gone through the ringer in the last book, but in my pages, she returns home to the Beach House and reconnects with her family and her close friends. It's the reunion she needed. And Kara can finally imagine a new life for herself and her daughter, Hope.
Wait, what? A daughter?
What? A daughter?
A daughter?
A mystery. It's all perfectly clear if you read the book. And I want to tell you about Linnea, I'm saying it right?
Yeah, you're
Linnea.
absolutely saying it right.
Okay, remember the little girl in book 1? Well, she is all grown up now. She has graduated from college, but like so many young people at this age, she doesn't know where her life will take her. I have one of those at home. She goes to live with her Aunt Kara at the Beach House, and she takes up surfing, learning from Emmy's son, John. Remember Emmy? She's Kara's best friend. She bought the house next to the Beach House from Flo. You know Flo. Well, anyway, if I were a song, I would be Elvis singing. Oh, I wish I could sing so I could sing this. I can't help falling in love.
Falling in love
No, yeah, that's the beginning.
How does it
Yeah,
begin?
that was
Start with Take My Hand.
I can't
Yeah.
help falling in love with
you. Thank you.
That was actually my first dance at my wedding.
Oh,
Was it? Oh, see how serendipitous.
I love
Yeah.
that. Okay,
That's good. Don't quit your day jobs.
yeah. Woo! So the song is all well and good, but hold on just a minute. You kind of glossed over this John. Is he maybe like a love interest for Linnea?
Christy, do you seem kind of interested in love stories?
Of course, who isn't? They're the best part.
But wait, didn't you say there were turtles? Turtles?
Yes, no worries. There are.
I mean, why am I wearing a hat with turtles? Turtles.
I know.
It's the turtle team. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's kind of itching.
I know.
Okay, I'm taking it off for a minute. Okay.
All right, so now it's my turn, and I love weddings, and I'm so glad it all happens in me because I am Ocean Boulevard. I came out in hardcover last summer. All of you out there actually might remember because it came out while we were doing Friends in Fiction. This was one of our first big Friends in Fiction launches. Yeah. But I'm excited to be coming out in paperback June 15th, which is very cool. And if I were a song, I would be Chapel of Love by the Dixie Cups. In my
to the chapel
And we're gonna get married.
I'm not singing. I'm not singing. I'm doing it.
We should have just done this all as a musical. I am
Oh, yeah, I missed it. Our next one.
Okay, so Forest of Vanishing Stars, the musical, coming this summer. Right? We'll know for next time. All right, so in my pages, again, I'm Ocean Boulevard, getting back in book mode. In my pages, Kara is in her mid-50s, and she's preparing for her wedding. She can't believe she's getting a second chance. But Kara's life is about to change again. I swear, nothing is easy for our Kara. But she is strong, and she has come a long way from book 1, where we first met her. As she plans for the big formal wedding she actually doesn't want, Linnea returns home from California with a broken heart. But she meets Gordon, a marine biologist, a Brit, a surfer, and it just so happens he looks a little bit like the British actor Sean Evans, which is a pretty good thing to look like, let me just tell you.
There's my love story.
I knew you'd be happy about that, Christy, but it's a rebound. But still, Gordon is dreamy.
But I thought this was Kara's wedding.
Well, Christy, it's complicated, like life is. Will there be a wedding after all? Will the house plans fail? Will Palmer face bankruptcy again? And what happens when Gordon has to return to England?
You know, there was a rumor that was the final book in the Beach House series. You know, rumors aren't always true, though. You can't always believe what you hear.
And it's kind of shocking because I hear that once in a while. This is the last book, right? I'm like, no, it isn't. And if you really wanted to be.
That's right. And luckily for us, there's another book and it just came out. And I also have to say we have Nicole Fincher saying she wants a part in our musical. So just pointing that out.
Well,
Nicole is
Nicole, you're hired because we are bad.
Yeah, Nicole. And Captain Nicole was at your Oxford Exchange event the other night.
That's right. That was right. So much fun.
Yeah, so anyhow, so the book that just came out, getting back, sorry.
It is the final book tonight, the one we've been waiting for, why we are here tonight, and we are on tenterhooks to find out what happens to the Rutledge family next. But before we get to that, and our final guest, let's read a few more comments from our viewers. Which is your favorite Beach House book?
So Mary Adams Wiley says, it is funny how often one's first is the best. And that's true with my reading of Mary Alice Monroe's books. My first was Time is a River, and it is still
Aw.
with me after dozens of her other books.
Oh,
That's
that's
so
nice.
nice.
Tanya
you,
Smith
Mary.
Rudman says Beach House Memories is my favorite of the series, but I haven't read The Summer of Lost and Found yet, and that might change my mind.
Thank you.
Mary Kay,
Oh.
take it away.
I'm sorry. I swear this champagne has gone to my
I know. Look at
head.
my cheeks are all turning pink. See what happens when I
Laws
drink
of
champagne.
mercy. You know, this week, Mary Alice chose Politics and Prose as her bookstore. She lived in Washington, D.C. for 12 years, and she loves this premier independent bookstore and cultural hub. Page and Politics and Prose. Oops. Politics and Prose is devoted to
culture.
Yeah,
we love all our, we love all the
We love all
bookstores
our
and
indies. Yeah.
P&Ps. Yeah. Politics and Prose is devoted to cultivating community and strengthening the common good through books, programs, and a respectful exchange of ideas. You can get 10% off your purchase of The Summer of Lost and Found and on other new and recent titles from the rest of the Fab Five with the code Friends Fiction. And don't forget, Mary Alice is offering that adorable, wonderfully ecologically good.
That silicone tip, it doesn't hurt your teeth.
Yeah, I can't stand
yeah.
that metal on my teeth. So that is
No.
that's really clutch. Yeah.
And also
Yeah, she
it
is.
says Friends in Fiction. I don't know if you can see it. It says Friends in Fiction on the top. So
Yeah, and
you're
it
one
comes
of
in a nice.
us if you use it.
Yeah, it comes in a nice little case, so you can put it in your pocketbook and not worry about purse smudge getting on it. Anyway, if you order her book tonight, The Summer of Lost and Found, Mary Alice is going to send you that straw.
And this is the first time I've ever had champagne with a straw.
Yeah, how is it?
The bubbles kind of go up your nose.
You know, I had a launch
I'm
party.
kind of wishing I could do that.
I had a launch party for The Art of French Kissing, which was my 2008 book.
What a great title, by the way.
Right? We were sponsored by a champagne brand that they sponsored all the launch parties with champagne, but they sent little mini bottles that came with straws. That was like the thing for
champagne?
2008. Little
that's
mini.
Very cool.
Yep, it was very.
So you started the trend.
I'm so trendy. Yes.
So you can order the book from Politics and Prose, and you can drink champagne with your straw.
You can drink champagne out of a straw, like Kristen and Mary Alice.
That's right.
All right, now we have come to the 7th book in the series. The book we've been waiting for, The Summer of Lost and Found. The theme of the novel is the passing down of legacy. And speaking of which, Mary Alice invited her second daughter, Greta, as her guest. Greta graduated in environmental science and worked for the Coastal Conservation League in Charleston. Then she decided to pursue her passion, a familiar theme in this family, and travel the world competing in international kite surfing. She is a badass. Now she's back on Sullivan's Island with her husband and son and busy as a muralist. It's easy to see how your mother passed on her legacy to you. Welcome, Greta.
Hi, Patty. It's good to see you again.
Hey, baby girl.
I am The Summer of Lost and Found. And this story that unfolds in my pages isn't about the pandemic. It's about how the Rutledge family and friends, the young and the old, come together during this incredible time in history when the nation sheltered in place. This book is personal because we can all relate to the action in the story. The story opens up with Linnea really bummed because she's laid off from the aquarium, which had shut its doors at the time. She's running the beach house from her Aunt Kara, who is also her mentor.
But this is when Kara tells her about the legacy of the beach house. Mary Alice, do you want to read a little bit from that section?
I do. I don't know if Sean is there. There was a audio clip. Sean, do you have that?
The aquarium is closed until further notice. I'm furloughed.
Oh, well, that was very short.
The aquarium is closed until further notice. I'm furloughed. Kara's face reflected her shock. My God. But of course they had to. The coronavirus is shutting down everything. They can't allow people to gather. Still, it's sobering. Always practical, she asked. How are you fixed financially? Linnea shook her head. You know what my salary is. I'm in trouble. Savings? None to speak of. Even with you helping with rent, I'm not sure how long I can keep afloat. Kara waved her hand. Forget the rent for now. Linnea was awash with relief. Seriously? Are you sure? Don't be silly. These are hard times. She put her hands on Linnea's shoulders. Back when I was in financial, she lifted her shoulders and her lips in an ironic smile, and emotional trouble. My mother welcomed me into this little house, knowing I'd find my way. And I did, and now it's my turn to offer the same to you. This is what we Rutledge women do. We take care of each other, and other women as well. It's a tough world out there for women, as you've just experienced. She let her hands drop. So, darling girl, no thanks necessary. This is your legacy, and the purpose of this dear house. With so many blessings, we pay it forward. Linnea felt the responsibility of her aunt's mandate profoundly. This was a passing of the torch. There were no words, so she remained silent.
Wow.
I don't usually do that. I think I'm so accustomed to reading the book myself that when I hear someone else read it, it's like, I wanted to read that. But
I thought it was beautiful.
It was what I'm trying to show was the legacy. That's the main point. That was the legacy of the beach house.
Yeah.
I think Linnea really takes that message to heart, and it's her motivation in the novel.
And I know there's a love triangle.
True. John is visiting from California when the stay-at-home order comes down, so he goes to quarantine next door. Then Linnea's boyfriend arrives. My mom, Mary Alice, wasn't going to let Gordon stay at the beach house. When she showed me the scenes, I told her, well, Mom, of course Gordon wants to stay at the beach house with Linnea. They're a couple, and he came all the way from England to be with and stay with her. And Mary Alice, my mother, said, well, I don't know if that's appropriate for the beach house. And
not my beach house.
we had a long talk about it because this is a departure with the next generation of this family. And she wanted the book to be accurate and realistic. And these were young people. So she did listen to my advice, right or wrong. And she wrote a very funny scene where Linnea's mother comes to visit the house so that Mama could put all of her shocked feelings into Julia's words. The triangle made for some really funny scenes. I'm a sucker for a rom-com, and anyone who else is will appreciate this too. What was really beautiful in my story is how everyone comes together, young and old. There's this gift of time to sit in the garden at night, talk and laugh, cook delicious Southern meals, surf in the middle of day, see what's growing in your own backyard, taking care of each other. I am an inspiring story, if I do say so myself.
But wait, who did Linnea choose?
You don't think I'm just going to tell you, do you? I can tell you this, though. In truth, Mama didn't know who Linnea was going to choose till the very end. When you read the last line, though, you're going to close the book and think, of course. That's how it's supposed to go.
Thank you, Greta. It was such a treat to see you and Claire and see what a personal legacy Mary Alice is passing on to both of you. Thanks for coming,
for having me. I'm so proud.
Greta.
I'm proud to be the new book.
We all had to be the old book. She got to be the new book.
Come on, Mary Alice. Unbelievable.
Woo! Okay.
I mean, to see your daughters, it's kind of, I got to tell you, I'm a little verklempt.
Yeah. They both look so much like you, Mary Alice.
Yeah. Do they? But how about that? I got a blonde and a brunette, so that was a pretty good deal.
But you can see that beautiful bone structure is there. You all have it,
and that smile.
Yeah.
Okay, we did it.
And I don't know if they get flushed like I do with a little champagne. I'm matching the pink champagne.
If there's a night for you to get flushed, it's tonight.
Thank you.
we have met all 7 books of the Beach House and officially launched the Summer of Lost and Found. But I think we want to ask you a couple questions before we dig into our
All right,
announcement.
let's take off our hats.
Okay.
It's over.
So, Kristen, you had a great one. Why don't you ask one first?
Yeah, Mary Alice, I was curious, what was it like writing a book about the pandemic during the pandemic? I mean, I know we were with you during a little bit of that journey, but
You were.
you know, yeah, I well, actually during that whole journey, right? But
Yeah.
but I just think it would be interesting for everyone to hear what that experience was like for you.
You will. I think for most of the people who've heard me talk, they know that I have a pretty structured way to write a novel. Especially if it's set against a species.
Yeah.
I'm a structuralist, and we've talked on the show about pantsers and I'm a plotter. But for this book, I mean, I couldn't do the research like I planned. I was a pantser for this one. But not only was I a pantser, I was writing in real time. I had no story. I was just observing. So, I mean, it was tough. And of course, I'm going through it at the same time. So my emotions are up and down. And we went through the 5 stages of denial. We really did as a nation. We went through, oh my God, I just drank champagne. I hope I can remember them all. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance.
Yeah.
And as we went through all of that and I was watching and paying attention, not just what was happening to me, but was happening to everybody, my family, you all, Kristen and Christy, you had your little child you had to put in front of the computer screen, right?
Yeah.
To be a substitute teacher. And that was hard, and not being able to see your friends and the isolation. So I changed my mind about what this book was about so many times. I rewrote and rewrote and rewrote. It was the hardest book I ever wrote. And I think it was just took a toll. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. But I think in the end, I'm one of the first books to roll out about the pandemic. And it's really not the disease I'm talking about, but the interpersonal relationships. You know, the lovers, the mother-daughter. And it did take an interesting turn for me. I had some really great experiences. I had some great losses. And by the way, everybody, Kristen came up with the title. She did. We all brainstormed titles, and she came up with The Summer of Lost and Found.
It's a good one.
I owe it to you, Kristen, because it was brilliant, because that's exactly what the story's about. What we've lost, it was tough. But wow, we found some really great moments. And I spent a lot of time with my sisters up at the mountain house. I mean, they all came to live with me to get out of a condo in the city. What a great moment that was. It was our little Camelot, to be honest with you. And then we had, sitting outdoors, trying to slow down. It was really hard. But what I went through, I was able to crystallize and hone and put into the story.
Well, and I do want to add, having read it and loved it.
Thank you.
It really isn't. You know, I should have framed the question to also emphasize that you're not going to pick it up and feel like you're thrust back into the pandemic. Like I said at the beginning, pandemic was more a setting that framed the story, as opposed to like the center of the story. So it won't be a feeling of, going through any of that again. It's more like a feeling of healing, because you have this memory of, like you said, sort of all the beautiful things that came out of it. But ultimately, the pandemic is what thrusts your characters together. And then the story unfolds in a very, a way that will feel very comforting and familiar to the people who've loved the Beach House, and to new readers too, I think.
And I think for all of us was a little transformational. I think Mary Kay was saying earlier that it was a time for her to have this time to write another book.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Mary Alice, all of your fans are asking, is there going to be another Beach House book?
Yes.
I mean, people are hanging. They're hanging like this. Tell me.
I mean,
I
because
have to say,
it came out yesterday, so they've all read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So get cracking, Mary Alice.
Come on,
Yeah.
hurry up.
I have to say, when I never anticipated this when I started. Like I said, wrote one book and I just kept coming back as I needed to tell a story. But I really feel blessed when you have a series where so many people are invested in the characters and they really love the location. They've watched these people grow for 20 years. That it's impossible for me to say no. I mean, I will. There are other books. I'm writing another book now, maybe two. I'm going to kind of move into other areas. I've got a couple of ideas. Girls, we have to start our sprints again.
Yeah.
But we
Yes,
really
I'm so
do.
in.
I
I'm
know.
so in.
But I will write another. I ended this on a lot of open possibilities. So I will return for sure. Thanks.
I like how you do that though, like how it's not just beach house, but how, you do other things interspersed as well. And I think it kind of like mixes it up. And I'm sure it mixes it up for you as the writer too. So you're kind of exploring other parts of your, other story ideas. I think
as a writer, I think we all feel we have to be challenged.
Yeah.
Consistently. And there's always another. I'm looking at whales and I have no idea what that story is, but I know there's a story there. These ancient beings. I've got to write it.
So I want to ping back just for a minute to the first book, The Beach House, which is 20 years ago. And then 3 years ago, was it? It was made into a movie. So how did that feel for you to see a book that started a series, but also a book that you loved and had been out for a long while, become a movie? How did that change things for you and this series?
Well, Patty, you were there that night.
I was there.
It was a night like no other. I think it was the apex of my career. It was the night I was invested into the South Carolina Hall of Fame. And then we cut out early. We said, excuse me.
We left poor Natalie Dupree talking.
That's incredible. What a night.
I know.
Awesome.
And here's the thing. We went to Pat Conroy's house and we were with Cassandra and we're sitting there and I'm in Pat Conroy's chair. Now it's a big old ugly lounge chair, right? Remember, Patty? And I'm sitting in it and we're watching the movie and I
was on the floor.
You were on the floor.
I was
aware of that I was sitting there watching my Hall of Fame movie. Underneath the big TV screen is the crystal little thing that I have up there of his Hallmark Hall of Fame film.
Oh,
wow.
I mean, you can't make those moments up.
Yeah.
And it was really special. Andy McDowell was hoping to do a video tonight, but she's filming. So she didn't make it, but it was just a moment, when you see your words come alive, it was special.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. We all imagine our books on the screen and you actually got to see it. Okay.
Well, I gotta say, a Hallmark Hall of Fame too. Do you remember Sarah Plain and Tall, one of my all-time favorites?
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up watching Hall of Famers, so I was really, really happy.
Okay, so we have a couple of announcements and then one more really important thing for you, Mary Alice. So do not leave or move and drink all the champagne.
Chug, Mary Alice. All right.
Slow down. Okay.
So I've got some great news to share. The Friends in Fiction Official Book Club passed the 6,000 member mark this week. I mean, they're growing so fast. It's amazing.
Amazing.
And we're just so grateful for everything that Brenda Gardner and Lisa Harrison are doing to run this amazing group. They're doing such a great job. And you guys, if you haven't met them yet, they're just such great people. I mean,
they come to our events to meet us.
They're excellent humans.
They're excellent humans, and I love
good
that
eggs.
One of the things, good eggs, and I love that one of the things that's come out of Friends in Fiction is the friendship between the two of them. They did not know each other before this, and they have become dear friends. I love that. That means so much to me. So this coming Monday, don't miss it. The group will be hosting Christy, who will be there to talk about her New York Times bestseller, under the southern sky and to answer your questions. Then on June 21st, the book club will welcome Mary Kay Andrews to discuss her New York Times bestseller, The Newcomer. And on July 19th, Mary Alice Monroe is up with, I'm sure, her New York Times bestseller, The Summer of Lost and Found.
Let me just quote Mary Kay Andrews, buy the damn book.
Buy the book, damn it. Exactly. So this is your chance. This is your chance to ask the authors all your questions and really dig into the storylines in a really intimate, personal way. I mean, because this is our group, you guys. This is us. This is your chance to really go deep with these authors, while also hanging out with a group of friends and fiction friends. So if you've not joined the group already, please do. It's separate from Friends in Fiction, the Friends in Fiction official book club. And please do show up for all 3 of those events. They're going to be great.
And do you get our newsletter? Because if you do not, you are missing out. All of the latest news, the schedules of where we're speaking, and the exclusive Q&As with our guests are in that newsletter. So sign up on our website and don't miss a thing.
Also, I mean, you know about our podcast, right? Not only can you listen to our shows, but we have extra and fascinating interviews. This week, Patty and me talked to Jennifer Hart of Book Club Girl. If you've ever wanted to know a little bit more about behind the scenes of a great book club, this is your podcast. And Jen Hart, by the way, is a major book influencer. So we loved picking her brain and finding out all the great books coming up.
And we asked her things like what's coming up that's great, books that influenced her life, books that changed her. And it's the kind of question you're going to listen to us talk to her and want to answer it for yourself.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. Now, Mary Alice, before we let you go, I remember when you said you were going to set this novel in 2020, and you took that challenging year and you created a novel that looks back in a way that makes us smile and inspires us. And we need that now. It's no wonder the book is on so many of the most anticipated book lists for May and the summer. So huge congratulations. But my question is for you, how do you feel about releasing your 27th novel?
Oh, thank you. That's like 2 questions. The first is, it was daring for me and scary to write about the pandemic at a time when I was living through it. And I think I introduced the next generation through it. So I like to think that people will read it and think, what's going to happen to Kara and Emmy next? You know, I will invest in another beach house book. It's
wonderful news.
You know, as long, but not next. I'll take a couple years. As long as I know you're out there. I remember hearing an author, very famous, Harry Potter, who said she won't continue the series. And I was devastated. And I thought, why not? We all want to know what that next chapter is. And so I decided in my heart that I would never do that. So I will write another. But also I have to say, this has been 20 years of this series, 20 years of a intention to write books set against an endangered species or an issue that I felt was something my readers might be interested in. Mm-hmm. And I look back at that body of work now, and I feel I'm tying a bow around it, and I'm closing. I'm still going to be writing books, but I feel that my mission's accomplished, that I've done it, and I'm so thrilled and honored that it was a success. Mm-hmm. And I will continue writing, but I don't know what's coming next. Oh, well, wow. I have to say this. Wait, if I was a song for this book, it would be Satchmo singing, "It's a Wonderful World."
Oh, nice.
Should we sing it? Or
No, we should not. No. I'm in charge, and the answer is no.
Maybe in the after show.
Oh.
I hear it back there. Oh, Mary Alice, you really have created quite the thing. And I do know that you will continue to, bring your passion for conservation, for nature, for the species that you care about. I know that just because you feel there's a bow around it, that it's not an actual wrap. So, but it is a wrap on the show. So next week, we hope you'll join us when we welcome Pam Jenoff to the show. Let me show her book real quick.
My Summer of Lost and Found is like right there. I can actually see it, but I can't.
So I was
right
mine's right there.
Oh, yay! Oh, look. So look, Mary Kay Andrews even has it, and she's not at home.
On
look
book
at
tour.
that.
That's
really good.
high marks, Kath.
Yeah.
High marks.
So the treat keeps coming, and next week we get to see Christy Woodson Harvey's cover reveal for her October novel. You've seen mine, you've seen Mary Kay's, and Christy's is next. And hang out with us in the after show, and we will see you all there. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Congratulations, Mary
Congrats,
Alice.
Mary Alice.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you for tuning in. Join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And please subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here. Good night.
Walter Matthau.
You do look like Walter Matthau.
Really do. You know what though? Like I actually think that looks kind of comfortable. Like when you had it on,
Really?
it was like
No, it is. I assure
I think
you.
you're going to a very special place for you, Kathy.
It looks like you're about to rob a bank or something.
You do. That's why I
That just gave me an idea for
it.
Oh, Lord.
Are your daughters
Okay, Mary Alice.
around?
Florida
Oh, my
beards. No, thank you.
Hi, Kathy Bennett.
Hi, Kathy Bennett.
oh hey.
Kathy, now you have Santa hair.
Santa hair.
I was born with Santa hair. I was born with Santa hair. Woo! Well, Mary,
Well, what a way to kick off your night.
Yeah, I feel great. That champagne bottle was a hell of a bottle to open up, but hey.
Hey, you got to it. That's awesome.
You got it. That's what matters.
Kathy, Mary Kay Andrews, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're next, Mary.
That's right.
Congrats.
Yeah, this
Mary
month,
Alice is
beautiful
next. So
one.
everyone go buy her book right now.
Yes.
Go buy it.
Buy her book, Dan.
Help a sister out.
No, but really, I mean,
sister
what
out.
a bargain. What a bargain, right? All the
Yeah.
hours of enjoyment you're going to get from that book and all of the hours of friends and fiction, right?
Yeah.
They're free.
And as we always say here, those first week sales count so much. So if you're going to read it eventually and you want to support Mary Alice, who's supported all of us through this pandemic, we've all formed this group of friendship. We've all supported each other.
Yeah.
We kind of want to give that support back to her. This is a great week to buy the book.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Mary Alice, I was wondering, where can we call? Like last week, there were places that we could call and get signed copies of Mary Kay's book on the road. Where can we call? Where are you going to be that we could call and get signed copies?
Okay. First of all, there are signed copies at Buxton Books in Charleston, at Blue Bicycle Books, and at Barnes & Noble Town Center. They've got tons. And I am going on the road. I will be at, where was I today? M. Judson's today.
Oh, good one.
They have signed copies. Patty, you're going there next week, right? Or next month?
Next month. No,
next month. You're going to be there.
East Shavers.
East Shavers in Savannah, which is a favorite of both Mary Kay Andrews and Patty Callahan.
So post, if you would, Mary Alice, post the phone numbers and links to those bookstores so folks can go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and call.
And I'm just going to remind everybody, because I didn't think of this until last week. And that's when I called and got you two to sign books. But they make such good teacher gifts. Like teachers they don't need another candle. Like they don't want any more. Like our teacher literally said at the beginning of the year, she was like, y'all,
no more candles.
Please, no more candles.
no,
Or
that
apples.
would be it would be a great teacher gift. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I got a text message from my nephew saying, they all call me Kiki. Hey Kiki, will you send me a book because it's Teacher Appreciation Week and my daughter's teacher loves you. So yeah,
Oh,
this
my gosh, and
Summer
a
of
sign
Love.
book. Yeah, a sign
Someone
book.
just
and you can
asked,
call.
where do we get the straws under the thing? Somebody just asked,
Yeah.
where do we get the straws? And if you order from Politics and Prose tonight, you will get straws.
Or
Mary
through
Alice will send
Saturday.
you a
Through Saturday. But you should do it tonight.
Yep.
Tomorrow is
No,
another
they're
day.
really good, guys. I'm a connoisseur of non-plastic straws. Ooh. And then
Has a little brush.
have
It's
you used
telescoping.
have you used it?
Oops.
Have some
And you can drink
champagne.
champagne. Yeah.
Ooh, clean it up. And then
I'm laughing so much about this straw. We've talked more about this straw.
fiction. I keep it.
Oh,
And, don't use plastic straws. If you go to a restaurant with a plastic straw, just say, "Come on, get with it." They go up the nares of turtles, and that ain't nice.
do
So
people even do
Mary
that? Is that
Allison.
even a thing anymore?
Mary Alice, we've been in so
Not
many
here.
beach towns on my book tour, and I can't tell you how many restaurants now have straws made out of recycled materials, paper or organic materials.
Compostable
And-
corn.
Yeah, and they don't
Oh, yeah.
don't melt. You know how some of the old time
Yeah.
paper straws just kind of collapse. So they're out there, and I think it's great that you are really raising awareness about that issue.
thank you, and I'm so happy because I know you've been book touring all over Florida, so you're
Right.
seeing firsthand, and I'm so happy to hear that because honestly, plastic is a real issue, and I'm not going to get heavy here, but when you see the straws in the nose of a turtle, it changes
When you
something.
see that picture, you just can't take it. Well, since you got heavy, we're going to get light. All right.
Okay.
So
Right,
that
here we
was
are.
super fun.
Put our hands
That was super fun.
That
And
was
here's
fun.
to the summer of Lost and Found.
Here's to
And
the
love
summer of
you
Lost
guys.
and Found.
Goodbye,
Cheers,
turtle
Mary Alice.
time.
And
Bye.
congratulations,
Bye.
congratulations on the New York Times bestseller.
Yes,
Happy
Love you
trails,
all.
Mary
Congratulations on
Alice.
Santa.
Happy
Bye,
trails,
y'all.
Mary Kay Andrews.
Thank
I love
you.
you.
Thanks, y'all. Mwah.
Love y'all.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
See you next